I'm on the run for my life. It seems that everything that you said was right. Just come undone. Lost my sight. But have you ever felt you've done your best when you were under the gun?
Hi, I'm Ollie, and I'm going to teach you how to set up a releasable abseil. It's a really useful tool for taking groups down a rock face, especially if you've got members of the group who aren't so confident. And should anything go wrong with the abseil line or the abseil device, you can release it and you've got them on a safety line that you can learn. But first, let's go have a look at the knots that you'll need.
No, I can't to get it done, I'm on the run. Been on the run, my shadow weighs a ton. I know I found a recipe for me, but I can't make you love me. Oh no, you know I can't make you love me. Check it out. You know I'm haunted the overseas, haunted on each coast. Played them like Ebenezer, I made them see the ghost. Back from the future, Johnny in Japanese kimonos. Even though the street show love, try to see me grow. I often see me floating, but my shadow weighs a ton. Call it baggage, I use it all to advantage. I can't make you love me, this time it's on you. And you can't try to deny these words when they're true. I'm on the run. And on the run, the shadow weighs a ton. It's starting to make sense to me. I can't make you love me. No, you know I can't make you love me. To get it done, I'm on the run. And on the run, my shadow weighs a ton. I know I found a recipe for me, but I can't really make you love me. No, you know I can't make you love me.
Oh no, hey yo, to get to stepping, your tongue is like a weapon. This is Kevin from heaven, and yet, so are ye. Since the age of 17, I've been taking part microphones. You've been taking part menu clone and throwing skeleton bones in the closet. Animals strike curious poses. They feel the heat between us, but you need a woman, Gloria Steinem, diamond defeat us, carry my fetus. I'm like the man in the moon. When we kiss, then you swoon on the run.
Okay, now let's head inside and learn how to set it up. Okay, so here we are at the top of an abseil tower. It's important whether you're at the top of a crag or an abseil tower anywhere. You need to make sure you safeguard yourself whenever you're setting up any system, just working near an edge. The first part of this release of abseil is setting up the rigging line. So to start off with, you can tie a figure of 8 on the bight with a stopper knot. Now for the purpose of this podcast, we're going to assume that you know how to set up an anchor system properly. If you'd like to learn more on how to set up anchor systems, you can check out this podcast here, and that'll give you all the information you need to know. In this instance, we've just got 2 bolts that we're going to use with screw-neck carabiners. So we clip the figure of 8 into the first carabiner, which is done up. We then take a length of rope to roughly whereabouts we're going to be working. We'll tie the clove hitch. Clip that to the second carabiner here. Make sure it's done up. Now with this wet rope here, we're going to tie a double figure of 8, otherwise known as a bunny ears knot. This will give us 2 loops, allowing us to have a single loop for the abseil rope and a single loop for the safety rope. So here, a loop for the abseil line and a loop for the safety rope. So, for the abseil line, we're going to take a length of rope in our hands. It's going to be just off the floor of the crag, so that they can just run off the end. Now take our abseil line and we attach carabiner to the longer loop of the double figure of 8. We tie an Italian hitch into the abseil line. Now we're going to lock off the Italian hitch using 2 half hitches. Like so. And now we're ready to sort out the safety. So to set the safety line, we'll start off by tying a figure of 8 on the bike.
Start walking down.
And again with the stopper knot. And now you can go back to the Brigham, HMS screw gate, attach it to a smaller loop this time, and we're going to tie another Italian hitch into the safety line. And clip this in, making sure the screw gate's done up. We can then attach the screw gate to the figure of 8, ready to pass to a client to start coming down to the abseil. So let's go outside and see how this works. Okay, so here we are at the top of the crag with exactly the same setup as we had inside, with our rigging and abseil line on the yellow rope and our safety line on the blue rope. Once again, as we're at the top of the crag, I've made sure I've got myself protected. So now we're ready to give our client the safety line. They'll clip themselves in and make sure the screw gate's done up. Now they can come forward to the cliff edge and they can attach themselves to the abseil line. Okay, so now they're ready to start abseiling. So as they're going down, you want to keep the safety line fairly slack so that they are actually abseiling, at the same time not too slack, so should they let go of the device, they're not going to take a big fall. If there's any problems at any point with the abseil device, or the client gets too scared and can't really move anymore, what we can do is we can take him really tight on the blue rope here, the safety line, and we can lock it off using 2 half hitches as we did with the abseil line. This means they're now safe, which means we can undo the half hitches on the abseil line. This means we can lower them down, so all their weight is now on the safety line. They can undo any tangles or problems that they have with the abseil device, or alternatively, we can just redo the hitches on the abseil line, get them to disconnect from the abseil line, and simply undo the hitches, safety line, and lower them safely to the